The Wolf and the Children. A wolf walked through a town one day, and saw through a little window a family, specifically a group of 4 children. Children, ages 5, 6, and 7. They were surrounding a Christmas tree, which wasn't decorated, but they were all cozy on the floor, and in their blankets. They loved their nanny, that was watching them form the winter. And their parents, mom and dad, were out of town. And the nanny one night, and this night fell asleep, while the children were still up. And the wolf was hungry and knew the weakest links were defenseless. And so he grew agitated, and broke through their little window, and run his way in. He squeezed through it in a black rush. And the children were too stunned and slow to respond. And he killed the 3 and ate their corpses. And the nanny woke up and walked into the living room where the Christmas tree is and saw the dead, mutilated bodies of the children. And she screamed to the top of her lungs, and the wolf was still in the house. And ran into the living room from sleeping in the kitchen, after dragging the children's meat into the kitchen. And he rushed the nanny, who wasn't looking, and knocked her down, and gnawed her face and throat with his sharp teeth, and he used his claws to wound her too. And the wolf made that house his home, his den. And he laid there all winter. Eventually, when winter came to an end, the children's mom and dad came back home. And they entered and heard the foulest stench, of feces, urine, vomit, and fur. They saw the skeletons of their children and the nanny on the floor, still fresh. And they were angry and sad, the 2. And the man searched the house in a hurry and saw the black wolf sleeping in the kitchen curled up. And he knew the wolf killed the 5. So he grabbed a nearby pan, and beat the black wolf, and the black wolf ran into the forest, passing the women, and didn't return. And the man wept bitter tears, and the woman prepared a funeral for them. And the house was cleaned. And the authorities heard about it and wrote it in their records. And the house was cleaned. And as the years passed, the man and woman decided to have a family again. And they had 2 sons, ages 4 and 5. They were a happy family again and got a guard dog for their home, to avoid a problem. And as winter arrived, the boys were happy that they would receive gifts. And as they slept waiting for them to receive their gifts, the authorities slammed through their home, and aimed their guns and fired at the boys, and got to the mom and dad, and shot them as well. And the dog was killed as well with a shot to his head. And the bodies were hidden in the woods, and disposed of. And no one in that town ever saw them again. And a black wolf howled in the back at the day of their disappearance in the woods. And no one heard of that family again.